The man accused of killing 4 college students in Idaho is not fighting extradition. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of In the News Now on the Idaho murders. I'm Brandy Smith. The suspect in the murder of 4 college students made his first court appearance in Pennsylvania. Bryan Kohberger is volunteering to return to Idaho. He's charged with 4 counts of murder. Kyle Simchuk goes inside the investigation.
Kohburger walked into the Monroe County Courthouse in Pennsylvania wearing a red jumpsuit. His mom, dad, and sisters were also there. We've learned that Pennsylvania authorities brought 3 different search warrants when they arrested the 28-year-old last Friday at his parents' home.
One was for the person of Mr. Kohburger, collecting DNA and photographs, that sort of thing. One was for the white Elantra vehicle, which I understand has been seized and is being processed, and one was for the address, the residence itself that he was living in.
Probable cause affidavits, which reveal what evidence police have, will be sealed until Kohburger makes his first court appearance in Moscow. Michael Mancuso, Monroe County's first assistant district attorney, said this.
Having read those documents and the sealed affidavits of probable cause, I definitely believe that one of the main reasons the defendant chose to waive extradition and hurry his return back to Idaho was the need to know what was in those documents.
Another big question tonight is how and when authorities plan to bring Kohburger back. The Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport is just a 10-minute drive from the jail. And tonight we've also learned that a Latah County judge has ordered a gag order. Police, prosecutors, and public defenders are no longer allowed to discuss the case with the public.
Indiana police pulled Kohburger over twice while he and his father were traveling to Pennsylvania.
State police told us they pulled him over in Hancock County on December 15th for following a semi too closely on I-70. And in the body cam video just released, you can hear a quick exchange about Hancock County deputies pulling him over just minutes before.
You got stopped by a trooper? We don't have any SUVs. It was a county guy. Was it like a black SUV?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to give you guys another ticket or warning if you just got stopped. Just make sure you give yourself plenty of room, okay?
Okay, so in all, the stop by state police only lasts about 2 minutes before the suspect is given the all clear to go.
Pennsylvania State Police detailed the suspect's capture.
Tactical assets were then staged in the county, in Monroe County, into the evening of Thursday, December 29th, last Thursday. And in the early hours of Friday, December 30th, those warrants were executed at the location. Mr. Kohburger was taken into custody without incident. The scene was turned over to the FBI Evidence Response Team for processing.
Part of my duties were to ensure that 3 separate search warrants were issued. Those affidavits attached to those search warrants are still under seal, so I can't discuss their contents with you. But one was for the person of Mr. Kohburger, collecting DNA and photographs, that sort of thing. One was for the white Elantra vehicle, which I understand has been seized and is being processed. And one was for the address, the residence itself that he was living in.
It wasn't immediately clear how soon authorities would arrange for Kohburger's transport back to Idaho, a process that's generally kept secret because of security concerns. How did we get here? Here's Tim Pham breaking down the timeline.
On the night of Saturday, November 12th, Madison Moken, Kaylee Consalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle went out in Moscow. Their roommates returned to their home around 1 in the morning on the 13th. Then around 1:45, Ethan and Xana returned from a party at the Sigma Chi fraternity that Ethan was a member of. About 10 minutes later, Madison and Kaylee got back to the house after going out to a bar and stopping by a food truck on the way home. 10 hours later, right before noon, a call to 911 reporting an unconscious person in the house. That call from a cell phone belonging to one of the surviving roommates. In the week that followed, we learned key details about their death. All had been stabbed, apparently while they slept, with the same fixed-blade knife, and police didn't know who did it. It was almost 3 weeks before the next major development. On December 7th, police said they wanted to find a white Hyundai Elantra that was seen near the home around the time of the murders. Fast forward to today, and finally an arrest on the other side of the country.
The suspect was studying for a PhD in criminal justice at Washington State University, less than 10 minutes from the crime scene. Here's a closer look into his background.
Moscow police say 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger is the man responsible for the murder of 4 University of Idaho students. Records show he's from Pennsylvania. He completed both his undergraduate studies at DeSales University. Bachelor's degree in psychology, according to his commencement video from the school, and his master's degree in criminal justice. He just graduated this past May. This video is from the commencement, showing him accept his diploma. We know he then was a PhD candidate at Washington State University for criminology, where he was also an assistant instructor. WSU confirmed he just completed his first semester earlier this month in that program. A since-deleted post on Reddit shows about 6 months ago, Kohburger was asking for participants in a research project to, quote, understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. Moscow police say his last known address is in Pullman. And new video from WSU's campus shows police investigating the apartment complex where he was living. We spoke with a neighbor of Kohburger who learned of his arrest and connection while he was at work.
I mean, it's just nuts. I was sitting there at work and my boss said they just arrested somebody in the Moscow murders, and I told my wife about it, and she noticed there was a live stream going on right outside of our apartment, and that's how we found out that he lived right here, you know. So I'm just kind of dumbfounded, you know, that this could be going on right here, you know, or like, you know, somebody could be conspiring to do something like that right here.
The murders of the 4 students back in November shook the small Idaho community.
It has been over 6 weeks since the Moscow student murders, leaving the community on edge.
I don't expect a Pullman resident to be like that because I have been living here for 8 years, and this is the first time such a thing happened.
Bryan Kohberger lived at the Steptoe Village near WSU's campus. One person who lives in the same complex as Kohburger says he was surprised by how normal he looks.
When I saw the photo, he looks like an average graduate student. Nothing alarming. Pretty nice haircut, clean shaved. But when I found that, it was a little bit unnerving, but I would treat it as an isolated event.
In Moscow, people did not think a suspect would be found.
Just stale, nothing was going to happen, they weren't going to find him.
Now they are relieved.
And so when it was announced, it was kind of a relief and surprise to everyone.
Others say that the arrest of Kohburger will hopefully bring some answers to the victims' families.
I hope it brings some closure to all the parents and relatives and friends who are all grieving.
People that live in Moscow say that since the murders, they have been more aware of their surroundings. With the arrest, they hope life can return back to normal.
I think everyone just feels comfortable, like the community's kind of back to normal. You know, you can walk around, you can go downtown, you can walk home if you need to, and you don't have that thing looming over your shoulder.
Thanks for watching this special edition of In the News Now. I'm Brady Smith.
For more stories in the news, go to our video on demand. Click on News at the top of your screen. There you'll find everything from politics to investigations to feel-good stories.